Hello and welcome. Today, I'm going to show you how to use the Event BeginPlay in order to spawn something into the world. So, with that being said, let's get started. Firstly, we need to create a blueprint. We can right click, choose the option that says Blueprint Class. From here, we have a dialog box that appears. It allows us to choose the type of blueprint that we want to create. In our case, we want to choose an actor, as it is something that we can place in the world and interact with. We're going to call this BP_spawn. I'm going to immediately click and drag this into the world. And if I press play, we notice that there is nothing spawning into our world just yet. So let's deal with that. I'm going to open this up. And the moment I do that, I'm going to be presented with a window that looks like this. We want to go to the event graph. And when we create a blueprint, we can see that we already have some nodes set up for us. Now we're going to be creating this from scratch. So I'm going to left click, marquee select the nodes. I'm going to press the delete key and they have been deleted. Now, before we begin, let's just talk a little bit about navigation. So if this is the first time that you're using Unreal, if you use the mouse wheel, we can scroll or we can zoom in and out, should I say. If I left click, I can marquee select. If I right click, I can open up this context menu, this is where we can search for new nodes. And if I was to hold down the right mouse button, I can pan. So let's begin by recreating the Event BeginPlay. So I'm going to type in Event BeginPlay. And there are some things that we should notice about this. So the Event BeginPlay is red. This indicates that it is an event. And events in Unreal Engine mean that it is the beginning of the execution of the preceding code. It has no input. Now, the Event BeginPlay, this event is specifically used to initialize something once the game has begun. For example, you might want to initialize the health of a character. You might want to, in, for example, our case, spawn something into the world. You might want to start an animation. These are all things that you might want to initiate as the game begins. So this is what we would use this node for. Now we want to spawn something into the world. So if I left click and drag the execution pin off here, and then I let go, I can search for the next node. I want to look for the add static mesh component. The add static mesh component allows me to add some type of model or spawn a model somewhere. So on the right side where we see details, I can click here and I'm going to choose this sphere model. I'm going to press compile. And if I close this and I open up the game, we can see that the sphere has been spawned into the world. So as the game began, the sphere has spawned. Now, to make it a little clearer as to what's actually going on here, if I make some space by clicking and dragging this over here, and then I left click and drag off the execution pin here and type in delay. And a delay means that after a certain amount of time, it will move on to the next node. So here we're going to say 3. So when the game begins, after 3 seconds, spawn this into the world. I'm going to compile this. I'm going to play. And 1, 2, 3. And there we go. We have our sphere now appears in the world. Now to sort of expand on this a little further, maybe we just don't want it to appear in one location. For example, we might want it to appear in different locations. So let's deal with that. I'm going to delete the delay. I'm going to click and bring this back over here. And we can see that this one has some inputs. So the left side is the input, right side is the output. The input that we're interested in here is the one that's called relative transform. Now it's only taking in a single value right now. That's not really what we want. So we can right click on it. We choose this option that says split pin. And here we can now see we have access to the location, rotation, and scale. Now, in this case, we're going to increase the value here in the Z, which is going to be the up direction, to say 1000. Now, when we do that, what's going to happen is when the game plays, we're going to add this into the world. We're going to spawn into the world. And then the location is going to be 1000 units in the air. So let's press play. And we can see 1000 units in the air. It has now been spawned. Now, if we want it to spawn in a random location, for example, we can set that up too. We're going to have a random location where it can spawn within 1,000 units in X, Y, or Z. In order to do that, we need to create two variables. So we're going to choose add variable, and we're going to call this, the first one we're going to just call val1, and we want to change the type here to a float, and we're going to add a second value, val2, and this is both a float. That's great. So now we want to access the X, Y, and Z of the location. So we can right click on here again, and we can split this even further. Now, if I were to take just one of these values, let's say the first value here, and I set this to be 1000, and I plug this into the Z, I press compile and play, we're going to get exactly the same thing as we did before. If I were to plug this into one of the other values, let's say this one right here, so we plug this into the X, I press compile, we can see that it's been moved 1,000 meters in X. So what we want to do is we want to get a range between these two. So I'm going to get both of these, and let's actually say this is 2,000, and the first value is 0. So some number between 0 and 2,000. We want to get a random float. So we're going to type in random float in range, and this is going to choose between A and B. And just to keep this simple, if I plug this in to the Z again and compile, and then I show you, first one is 2,000 high, press again, it's a little lower, and again, a little lower, maybe this time it's somewhere on the floor. Yeah, so you see, it's now choosing a random location between 0, somewhat random between 0 and 1,000 in the Z axis. So we can put this into all three, and what we should get is this should now spawn at a random location on the map within that 2,000 units. All the way over there. And let's do one more time. Like this. Yeah, you can see it's at a random location. So that is essentially the event begin play. Remember, the event begin play means that we're going to execute something one time. We're going to execute it when the game begins, and it's useful for spawning things or setting or initializing values. So if you found this tutorial useful, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And until the next video, bye-bye.